people and acknowledge elders past, present and emerging. Welcome to Before the Game, brought to you by the Professionals, Murray Bridge.
Welcome to Before the Game. It's round 17 of the Swamport Hotel RMFL season and I'm Matt Hood. We're coming to you today live from the MCG, home of the Coorong Cats Football Club. Before the Game is brought to you by the Professionals Murray Bridge, and we'd also like to acknowledge our major sponsor, the Swamport Hotel. It's a very big welcome to Shane Snell, Alex Button and Adam Ungahel. Welcome guys.
Hey Matty, how are we?
Beautiful to be here.
Absolutely. It's a little bit chilly here today here at the MCG, but we'll be in for a big game today. We're going to get straight into it. We have got a premiership reunion on today. Adam, just tell us very quickly about that. Butsy does want to hear about it because he was playing on this day.
Pleasure is Butts, but yes, the Meningie Bears 2014 premiership reunion, so 10 years. So all the boys are coming back. We've got the coach James Moore, who will be on a bit later. So the boys have just primed up in the special marquee over there, and they've got custom beer cans, which look absolutely fantastic, and they're going to have a great day today. So back around the Cats to join in the celebrations, so it's good.
Lovely work. Now we're actually going to kick Butsy out because he doesn't want to talk about this.
I'm more than happy to.
So Butsy, we'll vacate you out the seat. We're going to bring in the premiership coach James Moore. Come in, Maury. Yeah. Have a seat, mate.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming in and having a quick chat on what was.
No worries, mate.
It's a pretty special day, you know, when you look back. 10 years is gone and all that sort of thing. Were your favourites rolling into the game?
No, well, most of the season round was the best, the best side, and then probably I reckon 4 or 5 games from the finals we kind of got a run on, and then we beat Imps. I remember Brian Fenton pulled out in one of the finals, and we beat Imps with Troy Miller coming in, and then we had Brian back in for the grand final. So we just won about 8 or 9 in a row towards the end. But no, Ram was probably the best until about 3/4 away. It was good, and we had a really good side. I mean, like the Coorong Cats at the moment, we had a star-studded side. A lot of players played league footy. The River Murray that year was very strong.
Yeah,
So,
I'll mention just a few of the names. Fenton, Warmington, Smart, Brunoli, Gids, Arbin, Sanders, you know, like the list goes on through that whole side.
you forget Liston and all those kind of guys
Liston,
that played league footy as well. So Rams are always very strong around that time, and but we had a great side. I mean, we were very. I was supported a lot by like Henry Angus and obviously the president there and Bevan Swan, but it was a great time and there was a great side, and really they coached themselves, to be honest.
Yeah, you steered that ship, didn't you?
Correct.
Have you got any questions you'd like to ask, Mike?
Oh, look, I remember I was in the inner sanctum there.
You were a trainer, weren't you?
I was a trainer.
Yeah.
Premiership trainer. So I was in and around the guy. It was just a great atmosphere. It was really good. Those boys just gelled and connected so well, and Maury steered the ship. It was a great time, and you know, Meningie Football Club, 120 years, oldest club in the River Murray Footy League. Only won 3 premierships, so the boys will celebrate today, and the old timers from around Meningie will celebrate too, because they're few and far between. So thanks for getting the job done, mate.
No, it's been good. And it's pretty weird, like coming here, because I started playing footy for Border Downs.
Yeah.
And then I played 100 odd A-grade games at Border Downs, Tisnara, and then I coached at Meningie, and it all come together. So I always keep an eye on the side, and obviously they go pretty well this year. But yeah, I mean, people like yourself, footy and all that kind of stuff. Meningie's got a great history with their footy, and we were just lucky to get a premiership. And you always remember it. I think I've been involved in footy with SANFL as well, so 25 odd years, and only 2 premierships. So it's you got to take them when they come along. You got to enjoy them, and I still catch up with Brunoli and all those boys all the time. So you always keep an eye on where they are.
There was one little oversight on the whole in the whole exercise of winning that premiership. Can you remember what that was? There was one oversight that didn't happen after we won the premiership. There was a photo taken on the truck. But apart from that, there was no team photo taken after that, was there?
No, there wasn't. I think everyone was just so excited. I think for us, Yeah, there's a few things, and we had an extra person on the. Remember that?
Yeah, little Jakey snuck in. It was like,
we had someone holding the trophy that I never knew who the hell it was. It was
Jakey had the. He's related to Adam. He had the Mypo Guernsey on.
It was the funniest thing I've ever
did he have
seen.
the Bears Guernsey on?
Yeah, he had some. We don't know who it was. Matt Rinaldi goes, "Who is this?" I don't know. He's having a photo with him, so it was quite funny. But yeah, the party went for a long time. I know the boys, all the Adelaide boys, stayed in there for 3 or 4 days. I think people like Ben Gibbs and Jared Thorpe, who's virtually a relation of mine now. Yeah, they partied until, I think the Saturday after, I was still getting phone calls. So
how did you control Jared Thorpe? Just quickly, last question. But
hardest. Most talented footballer I've ever seen.
Yep.
Laziest footballer I've ever seen.
Yep.
And he knows that, and he could have played a lot of football in City if he wanted to. But now he's just had a baby with my niece, so I'm actually related to him. So you think that all the time that I've been coaching him, he used to give me the shits.
Yeah.
And now I see him at every family do. Yeah. So
Lucky
it's the worst thing ever.
Lucky you.
And the good thing is that he used to give me shit about being fat all the time, and now he's bigger than me. It's the best thing ever.
Absolutely no. Absolutely.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks for dropping in and having a chat where you could talk all day about footy. I know Snelly would not off on us, but Butsy don't hear anymore.
Don't want enough of those.
I don't want to ruin your moment. I mean, what'd you say, 3 premierships?
Yeah, I was going to say, you've
all
won heaps
golden.
of premiership. Yeah,
They're all golden. We have reunions every year.
Yeah, of course you do.
It's not just 1 year, it's 2 or 3. So.
Yeah.
All right, we'll wind it up again.
No idea.
Maury,
My
thanks,
grandfather played one of the Imperials premierships. So,
Who was that?
Tony McNamara.
Tony, you're in 11
Yeah,
McNamara's.
that's my
Famous
grandfather.
McNamara's.
Yep. So that's my grandfather.
Danny and all them, your cousins.
That's my uncle. Yep.
Oh,
So
there you go.
so McNamara's I got to Imperials kind
you
of
go.
tie as well. So.
Oh, yeah, a lot
I
of
just hate
McNamara's.
Ramblers. That was all.
You go this way, buddy.
That's right, he's half Imperial anyway.
But thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks, and enjoy yourself up the.
No worries,
the
I will, mate.
market.
Have a few beers.
Have a good day, James.
Good on you. Thanks, Maury.
See you soon.
Okay, off the interchange bench is Butsy. Come back in, Butsy. We won't talk about it anymore.
That's all right. They were, geez, they had a good side that year.
They were.
They were very impressive.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you mentioned Thorpe, because Thorpe was underrated a bit in that side, I think.
Yeah.
He's a man mountain. And
He is. He's a talent.
I
He's
would
just
have classed him the best ruckman in the league at that time.
at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said about Sam Martin last week, but I've still got eggs in my head from the Thorpe's fisters, backmate from Thorpe's fist as well. He did a white line fever.
Yeah, he did actually. Yeah, no, he was a good player, but hard work.
And it's funny because I know Maury said that Ramblers were probably the best side for 3/4 of the year. We felt we had that number early, and then coming into the back end, you could tell they'd really gelled. And I think they got us by about a point at Ramblers, and then the next time we played them was the second semi, I think, at Imps, and they absolutely smashed us. So they went in favourites on grand final day, and they tore us to shreds. They were excellent. Yeah, excellent.
I remember the day well. So, all right, let's have a look at last week's awards, please. Butsy, would you like to lead us off with the RMFLTV awards, please?
Yes, of course. So Farm Fresh Market Player of the Day. It was a toss-up between two. Reed Culler and Jack Klusky end up getting the nod there. Goal of the day. Sam Martin in his 150th with a don't argue and a dodge and a quick kick. So well done, Sambo. Mark of the day, Paddy Fay from Manham. Rising.
I found it. Good.
Yeah, rising star. Ethan Wackman from Mypo is very solid down back for the Tigers. Defender of the day, Stephen Mills, who was even better down back. And then the incentive award, a lot of ball across half-back for the Roos, and that was Levi Krause.
Nice work. We'd also like to mention that during the main game today, the stats will be brought to you by the Murray Valley Standard, so a big thank you to them. Leading goal kicker, please, Captain.
Certainly, no surprises. Josh Scott, 7 last week. He's sitting on 56. Pretty unassailable lead for the leading goal kicker for 2024. Daniel Menzel on 41. Jaden Ward 33. Rory Taggart 31. Charlie Fisher 30. And Albie Gunston 27. That's it. That's over the page.
Beautiful. Okay, now time for the Daesh Irrigation and Fodder Player of the Year, please, Adam.
Yeah, player of the year there for Daesh Irrigation and Fodder. Round 16 votes was Jervois versus Taylor Ben. And 3 votes went to Abraham Nyama, 2 to Nick Westhoff, and 1 vote to Peter Zarantinello, which I can spell.
Yeah. Yes.
Mypo versus Manham,
And so?
3 votes to Reed Collar. Rory Taggart picked up 2 and Sam Martin got 1 there. And it was Ramblers versus Southern Mallee, 3 to Josh Smithson, 2 to Malachi Continuary, and 1 to Billy McNeely. And the Mallee Districts versus the Coorong Cats were out at peak. 3 votes went to Rory Lehman, 2 to Henry Turner from the Cats, and 1 vote to Elliot Wegner. which gives us the leaderboard. Will Crane is on 19, Josh Scott and Nick Westhoff on 12 votes, Rory O'Driscoll 11, on 9 is Jordan Hine, M. Catineri, Albie Dunstan, Jack Klusky, Peter Zarantinello and Tate Silverlock. So
Thank you, Adam.
a lot in the running there.
Absolutely. I'm just not too sure who was watching the Maipo game, but Jack Klusky couldn't get a 1, 2 or 3 vote in that.
Unbelievable. We said it was between him and Reed Culler.
Oh, absolutely.
And,
I don't disagree with Reed Culler going with the 3, but Jack Klusky had to be 2.
Reed Culler, 20 tackles.
Oh, he was amazing.
Yeah.
So, but Jack Klusky was also fantastic.
I don't mind what they've done though. I reckon they squeezed in Sam Martin with the
a little 150 consolation.
A bit of emotion on that one, I
Okay.
reckon.
All right, Kimmer's King Club of the Year, please, Butsy.
So, Club of the Year, and once again, the Imps way out in front, 113. The Suns' next best was 76. Taylor, 72. Jervois, 69. Maipo, 66. The Cats, 62. Manham, 62. Ramblers, 39. And Mallee Districts on 17.
Fantastic. Swamport Hotel, ladder, please, Shane.
Yeah, the ladder's an interesting one, and it's not so much at the top because the Cats there on 28, undefeated. Maipolonga 20, Imps 18, Suns 18, Jervois 16. It's a very interesting bottleneck we'll probably talk about a bit later on. But and then you got Manham on 9, Ramblers 7, Taliban 4, Mallee Districts 4.
Alrighty, thank you. Time for the Captain segment. What did we learn last week? Captain, what did you learn last week?
What I learnt last week was need to do your homework and be prepared.
Prepare well, play well.
But yeah, and that's what I brought to this segment last week.
Right.
And what I learnt this week is I haven't done that.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not offering anything.
Nothing.
All I'm saying is that the game last week that we covered was probably a tad disappointing. And I said to you, looking at the top 5 and Maipolonga, I just thought, they squandered some opportunities and to put some polish on the game. And I think they're not within 10 goal of the Coorong Cats, who I saw the week before.
Right, okay. Big question there.
Big statement.
Rightio. Butsy?
Couple of things. I learnt one thing today.
Yes.
That new billboard on the way into town. Look at there, staring off distant into the lake.
Absolute
Beautiful stuff.
glamour boy, isn't he?
Oh, it's sensational
Pin-up
stuff,
boy.
isn't it? Yep.
Yep.
Excellent work there.
Well,
Well,
that's it.
no worries,
Well,
mate.
the money spent, you saw it, so that's
And the other one is, there's been a bit of stuff going on in the media with the showdown this week. Obviously, Josh Rochelli's got on the radio and he's throwing around
I'll give him what for
it's hard
tonight.
to understand the Port supporters without their teeth. And,
And you're offside because that's Collingwood's trait. Is that what you're a bit disappointed on?
yeah, come on, give it to me. No,
Give him
what
more.
I'm going to say is, I love it.
Yep.
Absolutely love that stuff. There's so much stuff about they want these AFL players and people to show a bit of personality and bring stuff to the
I
game.
agree.
And then someone does it and they get absolutely hounded down, which I think's wrong. You look at, I love what the Hawks are doing at the moment. They're up and about. They're all about a bit of
Celebration,
flash and
the old-
celebration.
He's got to go and do community service at the local dentist, just to make up for what he said.
But I love it because what it does is it brings eyes to the game, and ultimately he's making his own bet, isn't he? If he doesn't play well, then he's made that bet. He's got a lie in it.
Yep.
So back up his words, and I think Nixie come out and said that yesterday at the press conference that he wants them to do that. So I love it. It just adds to the game, it adds to the drama, and only brings eyeballs to it.
I'm going to give it to him tonight. So it's good. Now, Onga, what did you learn?
I learnt always finish well. Now this could go in any facet of your life, but
Yep.
I'm just going to round back to the Olympics just for one more time.
Yep.
I know the Paralympics are coming up very soon.
Yes.
But always finish well. We had the opening ceremony, they were on these boats and it was a bit ho-hum and just going down the river.
Yep.
The actual Olympics wasn't too bad,
Yep.
but the closing ceremony was an absolute cracker. So much so that all the athletes stormed the stage. They couldn't get them off. They were on the PA asking the athletes to get off, but they were just having a fantastic time. So to the Parisians and the Olympic Committee, they finished well. So
They
that's what you've
finished
got to do.
well. Always finish well.
I think we're going to throw in a ray gun there for us, Adam. I don't know where that was heading from.
I think she's had enough airtime. So.
Okay. Now, what I learned is that here in Australia, our public transport system it's still not there. It's not good enough. I cannot get on a train and go from the CBD in Adelaide to the airport. Absolute disgrace. I did in Sydney this week. For $1, I hopped on a train in Sydney. It was absolutely amazing and dropped me off at my hotel in Darling Harbour. But we need to get better with our public transport here in Australia. We need to go underground.
It's off the rails, isn't it?
Off the rails, so we did there, Butsy. So that's what I learned this week, that we're just not there. Singapore's amazing with their transport. It's all underground, trains, a whole lot, but we need to get better here in Australia and they need to spend some money on it. All right, That's what
I thought you were angling for a monorail from Meningie Oval to the Meningie Hotel.
Well, I can't see the reason why we actually shouldn't have one here, but that is a good
just
point.
closed the one up at SeaWorld or
Yes.
Gold Coast, whatever it is.
We
so
could buy
ship
that.
it down.
We'll bring it down.
I reckon the parts are all had it and they don't make them anymore.
Rubbish. We'll buddy get Unger in the shed. He'll get the grinder out.
Might actually be something to look at Meningie for a change.
Absolutely. Hey, now guys, I've got a really cool
Apart from all
interview.
this
Let's just move on, please. But see, stay focused on the
Sorry,
game.
mate.
Now, we actually had a couple of really interesting guys drop by this morning. They're doing some talks around through our community. They're called Blind and Legless, and they're just an absolute couple of good, ripping guys. Mike Rolls and Ben Pettigill, I hope I said that right. So I had a chat to them this morning, and let's have a little listen to them now. Mike and Ben, thanks very much for your time today.
Thanks, Matt.
I know it's been an absolute whirlwind trip for you.
Absolutely.
So, which is great. That's what it's all about. You're out there, getting the message out there. But we're going to talk about the message in a minute. But I'd really just love to know in a short version both your stories, please.
Yeah,
kick off?
Oh, absolutely.
Go
I
for
can.
it, Legless.
Yeah, so fitting that we've got club footy behind us, because when I was an 18-year-old kid, I was playing in the southeastern suburbs of Melbourne.
Yep.
In the Southern Footy League, so I was a bit of a wimp. I'd sit out the corners of the pack and a bit of a seagull waiting for an odd chip here and there. But we decided to go on a footy trip to Hobart, which is just a standard thing to do. 18-year-old kid, of course,
As you
is going to
do.
say yes.
Yep.
So I flew over to Hobart, and unfortunately, somewhere along the line, I got the rare disease called meningococcal. So
Not great.
too sick to fly home with the team back to Melbourne, and then they raced my whole family down to Hobart, and they said that I had about an hour to live. So
Wow.
full-blown septicemia, body had shut down, all my internal organs were shutting down. I spent 6 weeks in a coma.
Yeah.
And then I had to work out, well, now my life had changed pretty dramatically. What's the process of moving on from that?
Yep.
And I guess that sort of sits at the core of what Ben and I do, is helping people get through tough stuff, whatever that might be. Everyone's got their own journey, and here we are in the amazing, southeastern portion of South Australia, Murraylands. Speaking to communities and having a wonderful time in the process and meeting amazing people.
For sure. Now, Ben, what about yourself? What happened to yourself?
Yeah, for me, mate, it was sort of similar in the sense of up until 16.
Yep.
Very much my life revolved around sport, and I was sitting up the back of my classroom looking at the diagram the teacher was drawing on the board, and it just seemed this tiny little bit blurry, a little bit of a headache, a little bit of a shimmer, and it was literally that. Ran it past my parents. Dad couldn't really care less, but Mum thought we'd better get it checked out.
Yep.
And end up later that day getting a few different tests done and being kept in overnight at hospital.
Yeah.
And waking up the next morning, opening my eyes, looking around, and everything that was there the night before was gone. Wow. I just lost 98% of my eyesight overnight.
I want to ask you, when that happened, obviously, but two different scenarios. I want to know, what was your initial reaction? You've just found out you're blind. You've just lost both your legs.
Yep.
What was your personal reaction when this happened?
I think when it happened straight away, very much for me it was shock, denial, confusion. There was actually never a moment on that particular day that I thought, it's not fixable.
No.
In this day and age, you think, you're in hospital, you've got great care, they'll work out what's going on. They'll be able to fix it. So I never sort of thought initially that it was going to be forever. And it was actually 2 weeks later that I got the news that I was going to be blind for life. And even that probably took a number of months, even probably years, to sink in that it was never coming back.
Was there anger?
Oh, there was anger, there was frustration, there was hurt, there was upset, there was everything. A whole washing machine full of emotions, mate. And the problem was I started bottling those up as well.
Yeah, Mike, yours?
Yeah, with me, I think it was a bit of a funny one, because I woke up after a 6-week coma, and it was such a gradual wake up. It wasn't just like all of a sudden you sit up in bed and you're like, oh, geez, look what's happened. It wasn't like that. It was this really awful situation where they had to keep explaining to me day after day what had happened, because I didn't register for so long, because the brain was just such I was in such turmoil all across my body. So it was such a gradual wake up, and then eventually when it started to kick in what had happened, and I realised it wasn't just a bad dream. All of the emotions Ben just said then, couldn't agree more. You're in this situation where complete disbelief,
Yeah.
I think, comes
This
to
has
mind.
happened, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And also not knowing in such unfamiliar circumstances. And also think, not just from my own perspective, but what my family went through as well, you know, and how to process having all of a
Affects
sudden...
everyone, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's that ripple effect.
Absolutely.
A sports mad, you
Yeah.
know, son, and then all of a sudden, you know, he's left with, you know, lifelong disabilities, and just how cruel and unfortunate that is.
And was it that question, why me, at any point?
Absolutely it was, yeah, 100%. You know, you look at the numbers with Ben's condition and my condition, they're 1 in a million chance in any given year of getting it.
Yeah.
And we actually spoke at one of the club's Jervois, who's also had an experience, unfortunately lost someone to meningococcal.
Wow.
You know, how it affects the entire, you know, community. My family, the footy club that I was involved in, and I'm sure the same for Ben as well, all his schoolmates and the whole community really feels the ripple effects.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's move forward. How did you guys meet?
How did we meet?
I just ran into him and thought he was a pole.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, another one. I hate poles at the best of times, and now I've run into another. But this one started
So you
talking.
gave him a little tap on the cheek and he started talking.
I am metal below the knee, so it's sort of like...
If he gives
the
a little tap,
dink,
Yeah, that's
misleading.
it. Ting,
Yeah.
ting. But
Yeah.
no, we spoke individually, and we thought, you know what? I think not only would we have more fun, but I think we can have a bigger impact if we team up. And people were already seeing us down the street, a legless bloke and a blind bloke, and calling us legless and blind, and we thought,
Let's do it.
puts a smile on people's faces, makes people have a laugh, and it means we can approach a topic like mental health, suicide prevention, in a really relatable and down-to-earth way, and make people feel comfortable about what is often a really uncomfortable topic.
Yeah, because that's essentially you guys' mission, isn't it? To get out and get the message out. Is that right?
Yeah, bloody oath. In partnership with Ski for Life, these programs, the Ski for Life Mates on a Mission program, we are very proud to be able to deliver, and that is absolutely mission to smash the stigma that still exists, to drive the numbers down and the stats down, and it's a challenge. But I think, as you said before, mate, everyone gets dealt a hand of cards from life, and it's then up to us how we deal with them. Each and every one of us have a story. It's not easy at the best of times.
No.
But I think the real part of the mission that I think we're just trying to put really simply is one of the toughest things we can do is talk, but it's one of the most important things we've got to do as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, on your promotion flyers, legless and blindness. Now, obviously, you guys don't really give a rat's ass about that. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Can we change it?
Yeah, no.
No, you can't. So when you own it, and then also you can have a laugh, all of a sudden you get a room full of people, and then it's a subject, because we can make our stories incredibly horrific.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, if you've got a sense of humour about it, and you've overcome something, then why not get out there and just be proud of it and show it? And it's a great way to sort of break the ice with a group of people, because everyone's sitting in the audience as we're telling our stories, they're relating to something that they've experienced themselves.
Yeah, and the initial thing is, that comes to me is that I'm not worse off as what I thought I was, you know, and obviously straight away you guys give me inspiration, and that's what it's, I suppose, what you're achieving. You know, you're trying to get people up and about, and doing their life properly.
Oh, absolutely. Trying to get people up and about. I think that's a really big part of it. But one thing we are pretty strong on as well is making sure that no one in any room that we go in is comparing your situation, their stories, their challenges to anybody else's, because when we do that, we start to diminish what we're going through. We go, oh, well, that person's worse off than me, so then you sort of ignore your own problems because you think they're smaller than somebody else's, and that's when they get bigger. So I suppose we don't like to think of ourselves as inspiring. We're just two down-to-earth normal blokes, just like absolutely everyone, and we've all got our own stuff that we deal with. None's better or worse.
And no one wakes up in any morning and says, I feel like having a really crap day today. No one does that. So, you can't really, sometimes you can't control how your mental health is. But there are a few things you can do in order to improve it. So that's what we're out here, spreading that message. And one of the things, as Ben said, so well, is one of the hardest things about talking, but it's one of the most essential things, making sure you stay connected to your community and your mates.
Absolutely. And just to finish up on Ski for Life, you mentioned Ski for Life. Thomas family in this local area have been absolutely fantastic with us.
Sure have.
Just touch on what Ski for Life is.
So Ski for Life, South Australian charity, started 12 years ago with 2 boats, 20 people that ski from Murray Bridge to Renmark, 456 k's, and fast forward 12 years, 40 boats, 400 people over the March long weekend. This year they nearly raised $400,000 for mental health, wellbeing, suicide prevention in rural and regional Australia. So they provide community grants, and they also have their own projects, which Mates on a Mission is a part of. We are bloody proud to deliver it on behalf of Ski for Life in and amongst the communities, and it's just an awesome event, doing some great work in sort of these these down-to-earth towns where
Yep.
the professional support and the services isn't as accessible as it is in the city. So I think that's why the focus is where it is for us.
Yeah, no, fantastic. And they just, the Tom Summer do a great job to roll with that. So
Certainly
They
have.
have.
Yeah.
They've been
Now,
amazing.
whoever sits here gets the 10 questions. All right.
Go for it. Let's do it.
They get to know your questions. They're
Yeah,
short,
right.
short, up. Don't have to think too much about them. Do I get to read them? Yeah.
Right,
Do I get to
okay.
read them?
Yeah.
No.
No, I couldn't read them anyway.
Hey,
Don't worry about it.
No, regardless if you could, that's my job. So-
Okay.
Okay. Age,
29.
41.
middle name.
David.
Ashley.
Geez, you guys are good at this.
Well, I should know those two.
The biggest adrenaline junkie thing that you guys have done.
I'm going to say bungee jumped or skydived.
Right.
Or water ski raced.
Yeah.
Oh, beyond the boat, no worries.
150 k's an hour.
Oh, you are crazy.
He does sudden 80. Yeah. And I'm going to say, bungee jumping after I lost my legs.
Yeah.
Massive adrenaline rush. No, I didn't really do that, but go on.
Okay. Nickname.
Hawkeye.
Rollsy.
Rosie. Best mate.
This bloke?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
suppose.
this bloke.
That's a
If I-
trick.
Sure.
If I have to say, nah.
That is a trick question.
Yeah,
Make sure you
we're
do.
pretty good mates.
No, that's good to see. Steak or seafood?
Steak.
Seafood.
Seafood. Favourite TV show?
TV? What's that?
Oh, radio. Listen to podcast.
Oh, I thought you were a good bloke until about now, man.
That was actually a trick question to see whether you guys are paying attention to me or not.
Oh, here we go. Good backtrack.
Podcast.
Podcast. I'm going to say ours. Talking Tough.
Talking Tough.
Talking tough.
Great podcast. Have a listen.
I would actually now you've done that.
Yep.
Who you back from the AFL?
Hawks, mate.
Doggies.
The Doggies. TikTok, Insta or Facebook?
I'm going to go with. Well, look. I think all three are good.
Yep.
But all three are also bad. I'm going to go with TikTok.
None of the above for me.
Yeah. Jocks, Boxers, Commando?
Oh, God.
Jocks.
Boxers.
Boxers. Single, married, partner?
Married.
Married, 2 kids each.
Good stuff. Well
Each.
done.
Yeah, each.
Right.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. Well done.
We got through
All right,
them.
you got
Yeah,
through.
good.
Well, thanks
Thank
very
you,
much, guys. I really appreciate it. Obviously,
thanks,
you're off to where's it? Did we get
Murray Bridge Community Club.
Yep.
On
Yes.
Sunday afternoon for a Sunday sesh, 3
Yep.
o'clock down there. Open to absolutely everyone. We'd love to.
Yep.
I mean, I won't see anyone there, but he'll see him there, and I'll hear him there. And
And
Make
Manum,
sure we've got a
Manum as
crowd.
well. You have to on Tuesday at Manum. So,
Manum on Tuesday, Karoona Bowling Club Wednesday, and Lamaroo on
Lamaroo.
Thursday.
what I do know is we could probably sit here and talk for hours. I reckon.
I think we could, yeah, absolutely.
Well, let's do it. Stuff the footy.
Nah, look, thanks very much. We appreciate you coming in today. All the best moving forward. All right.
Thanks,
Cheers,
mate.
mate.
Good
Thanks
on
for
you.
having us.
Cheers.
Amazing guys, fellas, aren't they?
Unbelievable, and their attitude is amazing, really.
Yeah.
You could crack any sort of legless and blind jokes. And,
Yep.
Yeah, they're just so.
Well, obviously, I asked him, asked Ben what TV program he watches, and he just looked at me and smiled. So, no, they were good. So, great stuff, and they're still touring around the place. Community Club, I think, tomorrow, and Manum on Tuesday night. Yep. So,
And I think we're out at Lamaroo Thursday.
yeah. So, no, good stuff. All right, let's move on. Can we have a B grade score, please, Adam?
Score update there. The Coorong Cats 4-6-30 to Jervois 2-1-13. So the Cats just up there.
Yeah, lovely work, thank you. We'd also like to mention and acknowledge one of our great sponsors in Dutton Motors for supplying us with the magnificent Mazda BT50 to bring the commentary box down from Murray Bridge today. So a big thank you for them, and if you're obviously in the market for a car, get in there and see the guys and girls at
Just
Dutton
stuck it
Motors.
on autopilot, mate, and she got us here in good time.
Away you went. Hey, just like a dream to ride.
Oh, mate,
Yep.
like a cushion of air.
There we go. There, you've heard it from the man himself. All right, Tom, look at Facebook pages. We're going to kick it off with you, Adam.
Yeah, the Coorong Cats, big day today, of course, with the 2014 A-grade Premiership reunion. That's just kicked off. I can hear the boys from the marquee here. So a great day for the Meningie House End. So fantastic there for the Bears.
Me? Oh, yeah, sorry, I was looking down. Yeah, congratulations, Imps under-13 players last week. Went out the Auskick half-time of the game. Played against the Ramblers under-13s, I think. And had a game representing Westies.
Yeah.
Now, Jervois, next Saturday, Ladies' Days, drinks and
Nibbles.
Wood oven pizzas as well, so get around that. $20 a ticket. That'll be a big day at Fly Park, I think they call it, don't they?
I do not call it that. It's Husky Arena.
Disrespectful, that is. There's only one clown who uses those terms.
The Mallee Storm have announced, Adam Clun, the senior coach there, has announced he won't be coaching the Storm next year in 2025. He's just a great bloke, a fantastic coach, so we wish Clunny and his family all the best moving forward.
Mate's on a mission again. That's Manham Facebook page, and they're there on Tuesday night at 7 p.m.
Maipo after the game today, Swamport Hotel for presentations, so they'll be hoping they'll start the top 3 spot against the Roosters, so get a feed and a beer and get down and support the Tigers.
Ramblers today, they are celebrating and honouring this year's inductees from the 80s decade. So they'll be inducted into the Legends Hall of Fame there at Ramblers, and I just think these types of events are fantastic that clubs are doing these days. It's rich history that we really need to keep and honour those people that keep our clubs going. So well done to Ramblers.
Yeah, well said, Adam. I couldn't agree more. Me, Southern Mallee Suns. So the Miss Sun pageant is on tonight, straight after the dinner and prezos. Who will be crowned Miss Sun?
Oh yes, stay tuned for that one.
Is the king, he's not suiting up, is he?
Oh, I don't know.
King of the Mallee?
I don't know.
The Queen of the Mallee tonight.
He'd have a couple of frocks he'd want to rock out, wouldn't he?
No, I don't know. Butsy, talk please, Butsy.
A couple of nice woolen numbers anyway. Taylor Bend, round 17 game times for today out at Lamoureux. And last game of the year for them.
Lovely work. Thank you guys. Now, Adam, you've got to go. You've got something very important to go and do. So
I do. I've got a couple of big club announcements. So thanks for having me. These announcements can't wait. So it's with the playing group and some other special people.
Can't let us in.
I know you guys are special too, but the cameras will have to stay outside. But you'll know soon enough. So thanks again for having me.
Maybe half time, can we find out?
well, we might be able to do it
Can we find out at half time?
Stick to the socials. Everything will be announced.
Okay. Thank you, Adam.
Good on you guys. Have a good call.
Either that or be on a billboard on the way in town.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Adam's off for his big announcement. Stay tuned on that one. All right, it's time to talk this week's games, gentlemen. And the first game we are going to chat about is the Southern Mallee Suns v Taylor Bend.
Yeah, well, for me, interesting one. I mean, obviously the Southern Mallee Suns will win. They're a lot stronger side and they're better over the course of the year. One shining light for the Southern Mallee Suns is the big guy Baker, the snake. I don't know, he gives them another dimension. So Maroney isn't your key pillar to go for, the forward line. This guy's amazing. Left footer, big body, and I just feel like probably like Charlie Dixon is to the power, just a big pillar there, and I think he's changed their game plan a bit.
He's got it turned on in the big games coming up.
He draws the ball well, and I think he allows Nick Hyde to have a rest on field as well, instead of he absolutely run himself from the ground. So he's a big
that's my question. Where's this guy? Never heard of him before. Where's he been? And all of a sudden he's turning up, and he can roost the ball as well, take big pat marks. But yeah, on to the Taylor. I'm talking about Taylor Bend as well. And I know we've got to do a tip as well, but Taylor Bend with the young blokes in Micken down back and Ward up forward. A big future there.
If they can keep them.
Well, they've got to keep them, but also if they can build a couple more in around them. Now, Chile
needs to get the pen and paper out and get them signed up as soon as possible.
Yeah, well, anyway, there's a big upside to Taylor Bend, and I know socially they're really good and all that sort of thing, and they have a great family environment out there, and they've got some good juniors and everything. Just this one little corner of their club that if they could improve that, it'd be put them in good stead. So yeah.
So Suns by how much?
Oh, I reckon the Suns are probably 40.
Butsy, your thoughts?
Good news for the Suns. Tommy Keogh's named today.
Oh, good on him. Yep.
So getting back on the field, which is great for them coming into finals.
Certainly.
They'll just be wanting to get through, get the win, tick that off, and it is a big. If they can get that win today, it puts them in a pretty good spot for top 3 actually. Even a loss against Coorong next week.
Yep.
Depending on how the Blues go, percentage-wise, they could still get in there above the Blues. So big game for them today. So if they can have a big win, percentage win, that'll be a big tick for them. As for the Eagles, I mean, it's been a disappointing year in the end, hasn't it? You looked early in the year and they were competitive and you thought they might win a couple of games that they weren't meant to, and they've just dropped right off, unfortunately. So I hope they've organised a bus ride or something out there, because Mad Monday's starting. Basically,
silly Sunday from what I would have
thought. So
Silly chilly Sunday.
Yeah, I think the Suns by a lot, and hopefully they get to injury free, because they can be a real wild card come finals time. This year. So Suns by a lot.
Okay. I'm definitely on with the Suns today. I think the Suns will win and win easily. Taliban really need to. The first priority for them is to make sure they reappoint their coach. That's Chile's first thing he needs to do, and then he needs to look at the key pillars of that side and then build that side around him. So Chile tells me there's some exciting stuff happening at Taliban for next year, but he might be just pumping his own tyres up there, but we will wait and see. All right, next game, and this is actually a really important game for Imperials. It's Imperials v Mallee Districts. Your thoughts, Captain?
Yeah, look, I think it's a danger game where mentally, if they drop off a bit and think it's just a matter of rolling up, Mallee District's going to have different ideas. Obviously, Cluny's announced he's moving on, so they want to try and finish it out strongly for him. Imps got back Penfold, obviously, and Ben Gogol's back into the side as well.
You've been rubbing Jack's leg this week, getting it right?
I don't need to.
Nice.
He's got all that under control. So, look, they'll welcome those couple of players back, and if they can just I guess, just put it together a bit better than what they have.
So who are you missing?
Well, there's some long-term injuries, and he won't come back.
Won't see him for the year?
No, Clark's back in as well. That's the other one. James Clark's back in, and he's had a pretty good solid season too. So.
He's had a very good year.
Yep. Yeah.
On ball.
Yeah. So look, they'll be looking at the last home game as well. So they'll be looking for a win. They'll get the job done. Hopefully they go about it in the right mental capacity and actually really put the Storm away. But if they decide that it's just going to be a matter of rolling up, or they'll be in for an arm wrestle.
Imps by how much?
I think. Look, you could give them 60 points.
Okay, Butsy, your thoughts, please.
The biggest question for me is, can the Storm actually go for 4 quarters? Can they give that effort? They haven't been able to really do it all year.
No.
So that's the big question. I mean, the Blues should be too good. Looking at their team, they've got a bit of experience back in, like you said, Gogol back in. And even, good to see Lean at Harrowfield, all these guys that didn't play against the Cats. So they're a lot stronger this time round. But you look at their spot on the ladder and their wins and losses, they're just hit and miss against the good sides. I think they've beaten the Suns twice, but apart from that, they're struggling to beat the sides in the 5. And they just leave too much to too few. There's not enough contribution from the playing list. It's their top 3 or 4 have to play really well, especially against the good sides, and if they don't, they really struggle. So they'll want today, I would think they'd be looking for their bottom men to contribute and play well, so then they can take some confidence in the finals. And especially next week against the Tigers as well for that top 3 spot. So Blues should win, get it done comfortably, 8 to 10 goals. But there's a lot that they'll be looking for to carry on for the rest of the year.
Okay. My thoughts are this is a super important game, and the reason being is that next week potentially we're going to be playing for a spot, a double chance, right? Right at the moment, the percentage is really close on him, so it's 0.10% difference. So Imperials need to actually have a big win today. They can't muck around. They want to get that percentage up so that if it does come down to percentage, so who falls into the top 3, they're going to be the team. So I think Imps will get it done. I think they'll understand how important today is, and I reckon they'll win by 10 goals. So this is a danger game. The next one, Ramblers v Maipo. Now when I say it's a danger game for Maipo, because Ramblers have been threatening all year to bust open the game, and today could be the day. So and if you look at Maipo's form, up and down all year. They haven't really been that consistent. So your thoughts, please, Captain?
Yeah, look, and I said it earlier, and after watching last week's match, Maipo, I mean, they've got the cattle. There's no question there, and there's some really good shining lights in there. And the 3 to come to mind is obviously Klusky, Kula, and Jordan Hine. Right? Then there's a next tier in there that are a little bit hit and miss. You know what I mean? I mean, I take Mills out. Mills is a solid defender, and he won't play defence or he may not play defence in the finals when Riley Robinson comes back. So, it's a really hard one to judge how Maipo are going to go this year with those 3 guys out on leave. So, but for today, they are going to be challenged, and Ramblers are looking for a win. They're hungry, and Malachi continues in red-hot form, as we know. Alex Pfeiffer, and they got some good players there. Don't worry about Ramblers, and it's at headquarters, we call it. So it'll be a tough match. Maipa will get it done. They just probably need a bit more efficiency going forward.
Are you sure they're going to get it done?
Maipa will get it done.
Okay. By how much?
Oh, I think it'll be a tough match. I reckon it'll be 30 points, 20 to 30 points. Yep.
Butsy, your thoughts?
Home of football, we call it.
Home of football, there you go. Rightio.
Headquarters, I guess.
Okay. Rightio.
I know I said last week on before the game that looking to this week, the Chooks might be in for an upset. Maipa changed my mind last week.
Oh.
I'm really impressed. I'm probably the opposite of Snelly. I'm really impressed with what I've seen.
Yep.
They've got some guys. Reed Colour just adds a complete another dimension through the midfield.
Yep.
Seeing Rory Taggart get around last week, he looks in such better condition and moving so much better than he did at the start of the year.
Yep.
And they've got that quality to come back in as well. So I think they'll be pretty good. And I think they're coached really well too. They do.
Oh yeah.
They do put a lot of work into the opposition and what they need to do to get the job done. And we saw that in the grand final last year. They had Jervois on toast. They had done their homework. They just didn't kick straight. For the Roosters, the conditions probably play into their hands. You know, they're not a very skillful side. Fast, can put pressure on. So they'll be going, right, we're a chance there. Do they put time into Jordan Hine at half back? Because last week he just ran around all by himself and set them up really well. So it's a tough one. I think you've got to at least be aware of him. And then the one that I really like, Aaron Pratt's not starting in the middle. He's starting up forward. Sorry about that. That's all right. Aaron Pratt's starting up forward, and the other one's Jacob Trevorrow up forward. So if Ramblers can get the ball in there and on ground level, they can be really dangerous. But having said that, I really like the Tigers and what they're building. They've won 3 of their last 4. Beat the Roos by 100. We haven't seen anyone really beat anyone by 100 points this year. I think the Tigers get it done by 5 or 6 goals today.
Rightio. Well, yeah, I'm going to go Ramblers. I think Ramblers are due. And Maipa just not as consistent as what I'd like to see him right at the moment. So in an upset by a couple of points, I'm going with Ramblers. So last time, now we're just going to keep on. Oh no, the rain's just nicked off. Last game, Coorong Cats v Jervois. Your thoughts, please, Captain.
Yeah, well, obviously, Jules got a few outs. Harry Barnett hurt himself last week. 2 Hansons with soft tissue injuries. And the late call-up of Lockie Thomas is out of the side.
He's off to the Crows.
He's off to the Crows. So, look, I think Jervois won't be too worried about it. I think, given that they can't improve their position on the ladder, I think they'll be happy to look for some good signs out here against a really, really tough opposition. And I don't think they'll be too worried about dropping this match because it's in the context of the season. They're still playing a knockout final on the Sunday and on their home deck. So I think the Cats will be way too strong. It'll be pretty solid win to the Cats. Too much. They're playing too well.
Okay, Butsy.
It's funny you say nothing to play for. I've got it. If they win today, they can still make top 3.
All right. So there's got a couple of things got to fall their way for that.
A couple of things to fall their way, but there's still a chance for top 3, and their percentage isn't bad either.
The percentage is good,
so they can jump a couple of sides.
Right.
So if they get up today, we spoke about it out at Lameroo. When their backs are against the wall and you ride them off.
Oh, absolutely. Don't ever do that.
Something about them. So, you know, no Hansons today. You said no Lockie Thomas. Expect them to come out really firing and really hard and make it a physical contest and try and make a statement. I would expect that today from Jervois. Don't be surprised if it's quite willing out there.
Yeah, I guess you don't look at what they haven't got, you look at what they have got.
And they do have some class. They're very good inside around the ball. And the thing that impressed me out at Lameroo was the way they moved the footy from the back half forward. They really put speed on the ball and made it hard for the Suns to defend.
There was nothing in that game.
Yeah, especially in that last quarter.
Yeah, there's nothing in it. Yeah, you're right.
And the thing that I look at that is Coorong like to get the ball in the front half and push up really aggressively defensively. If Jervois can get some speed on the ball and they hold their length and leave Scott one out inside 50, they could hurt the Cats on the rebound.
Yeah.
So I think there's a potential there. That's probably what they're looking at. Can they get them out the back?
Yeah.
And if they can halve the contest inside, like on ball, and they can get the ball in their front half, they'll make it hard for Coorong to move the ball as well. So I think this matches up really well. The Cats going really well.
Who are some of the matchups?
What do we got?
Scott and Lehman?
Yeah, Scott and Lehman down back, so that'll be really tough. And
Who's
how
on
they
Dylan
set
Barry?
up. Dylan Barry's a hard one.
Because he's so strong overhead. So
he
strong
is.
overhead for him.
And he's probably that X factor.
Chad Kennett will probably take him, I would have thought.
And I think he's that X factor across half forward that can really blink him up from half back to half forward. inside, you know, you've got Hargraves, Stitterford, and then you've got Durantinello, Silverlock. Yeah, their running power in the midfield probably gets them the edge in the midfield. I think the Cats. I don't think Jervois can run the distance with them, but if it's in tight with these conditions, she's going to be a real scrap in there too. Ruck, Matt in the ruck for the Cats is a big plus against Farnham. He's a big body, but geez, Matt, he's just an animal in there, isn't he? He is. That white line fever, so that'll be another big one. But then you look down forward for the Cats, who goes to mentor?
Yeah.
You know,
Well, he start forward, but he plays it over the ground.
yeah, that's the thing. He pushes up, he runs around. They've got Martin at half back. Look, form says and the lists say that the Cats should get it done, but the amount of times you ride off Jervois and they come out and surprise you, I think it's going to be really tight. Maybe a kick in it to the Cats.
There you go.
Like today.
Right. A kick in it, right? For me, Cats by 10 goals. So, all right. You know what time it is for now?
Oh, it's that favourite time.
It is that time. It's time for Matt's quiz. Okay, Jimmy, come on in. You got an absolute pizzler last week. Let's see if you can redeem yourself.
We all copped the pizzling last week.
Yep.
We all needed to wake up and remember how
Yeah,
big
sit
Jane
down in the
was.
seat, please, Jimmy. Rightio. We're going to test the buzzers, starting with you, Captain.
Captain.
But
Jimmy.
right, remember, you must use your buzzer first. If there's any questions, Sophie will tell us who actually gets it. All right, question number 1. Who has the naming rights for this year's male medal?
Captain.
Yes.
Ramsey brothers.
Ramsey Brothers is correct. One to the captain. There is a premiership reunion today. What year was it?
Jimmy's?
Jimmy?
2014.
Yeah, that is correct, but it's a two-part question. Who was the captain of the side?
Butts.
Yes?
Benoli.
It was Benoli, yep. So half a point each to you there. Half to Butts and Jimmy. Hang on, I hadn't had Jimmy on yet. Half to you.
Had to
Right.
watch him lift the cup.
Yeah, Matthew Benoli it was. Currently got a broken leg too, so all the best to Matty. I hope your leg gets better. The showdown is on tonight. Who's home game?
Captain.
Captain.
Port Adelaide.
It is Port Adelaide.
And there's one set of full teeth amongst the 40,000 getting there.
Dear, oh dear. Prior to round 23 in the AFL, who was bottom of the ladder?
Captain.
Yeah, captain. Too long. Jimmy, you were next
North
in.
Melbourne.
No, incorrect. Butsy, you've got it to yourself.
The Eagles.
No, incorrect. It was actually Richmond. Yeah, Richmond.
Wow.
No one gets that one. You already had a go. On the flip side, in the SNFL, who was the top of the SNFL
Butts.
ladder?
The legs.
Yes, they are. Norwood it
They are
is.
flying.
So, Butsy,
Lovely.
that's 1.5 to you, 2 to captain, and half a point for Jimmy.
Don't worry, the Tigers will get it right. Finals time in the SNFL.
Rightio. Okay. Who? What number does Matt Harmon wear?
Butts.
Yes.
22.
22 is correct. Well done, Butsy. 2.5 to you. Daesh Irrigation and Fodder Player of the Year. Who's in second place?
Butts.
Yes.
I've forgotten now.
You read that out. No, Unga read it out.
No, Unga read it out. Josh Scott.
Incorrect.
Captain. Someone went forward. Someone took him over. Malachi Katinri.
Incorrect. Now he's a ruckman for Taylor Ben.
Nick West.
Nick Westhoff is correct.
Oh,
Well done, Jimmy. Jimmy gets a point for that one. He's 1.5. 2004 Paris Olympics. What colour
Hang
medal?
on.
2000.
24 or
Yeah.
2004?
2024.
Right.
2024.
Okay, yep.
One's just gone. Paris Olympics.
2004 with Athens, do I get a point?
Yeah, no. What colour medal did the Opals basketball team win?
Jimmy.
Yes?
Bronze.
Yes, that's correct, Jimmy. Another one to Jim. He's on 2.5 as well. 2.5, 2.5 and 2 for you. All right. Question number 9. Who was the RMFL president prior to Phil Gogol?
Captain.
Yes?
Michelle Hill.
Yeah, well, sure. And prior to that?
Terry Conley.
Terry Conley is correct. You only get 1 point for that, though. Captain gets 1. So you're now on 3. All right. Who am I?
Matt Hood.
Yes, I'll give you half a point for that. Jimmy, half a point. No. All right, no. I was born on the 9th of September 1974 in Mount Barker, South Australia.
Butts. Shane Crawford.
I was going to say that.
You are unbelievable, Butsy.
Croft.
You are unbelievable. Now, I'm just going to continue it on.
Mount Barker.
I'm 174 centimetres high and I played for one AFL club. I was a 4-time All-Australian and Premiership player in 2008. I won a Brownlow in 1999. I'm in the All-Australian Hall of Fame. In 2013, I cycled from Melbourne to Perth to raise money for Breast Cancer Australia. And he was recently in Dancing with the Stars. He was Shane Crawford. Unbelievable.
Good get, Butsy.
Yeah, no, I'm going to give you that one. So the scores currently are Butsy 3.5, Shane 3, and Jimmy is 2.5. All right, last question. What round is it today?
Captain.
Yeah, Captain.
7.
Round 7 it is. Captain wins on 4, 3.5 to Butsy, 2.5 to Jim.
Hey,
That is
better than last week.
match. Yes, no,
well
you
done,
were
Jim.
very
Well
respectful.
done, improvement.
Very respectful today, Jimmy. Yes, you were. And
I'll
well
even
done.
give you a ride home for that, Jim.
Are you
my-
not going to make him ride in the back of
Where's my
the,
award for
the
most
Mazda?
improved player?
All right, we need to say thank you to Denise. We got Sophie here, and to you, Jimmy, Butsy, and Captain.
Just quick before we go, shout out to Mum and Dad up at North Haven on the central North New South Wales
What's
coast.
Mum and Dad's name?
Jan and Dean.
Jan and Dean. Well, hello, Jan and Dean, and I hope you're watching, and I hope you're very proud of your son. He's a good boy. And,
I'm proud of him. He lost the game.
he's
He
well
lost the quiz.
presented and well mannered too, I will say. So well done to him. Don't forget, we're back with the league game, the Cats v Jervois here at 2:30. I'm Matt Hood. Thanks for watching.